Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Everybody must have now enjoyed Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving break is over and we now look forward to Christmas. Hey, best time of the year, right? So here we go. I've been working with the GGC treasure bag, the Santa's treasures, and this is the first thing I came up with. We we received a bunch of toggle clasps, which is gold and silver right here. So this is what we received in the box, and it's pretty plain, smooth, rounded, without any designs. It's perfect for my design actually. So I just took the round part of the toggle. I didn't take the entire one, but I just took the round part and did a couple of brick stitch earrings. It's a pretty simple, easy but fun earrings to make. So this one right here I wanted to talk about is this. First, you have the red, you have the green, you have a little bit of gold and a little bit of antique bronze. So I really like this color combination. Pretty Christmassy color combination, I would say. I used 11 seed beads in two different colors from my stash, which is the red and the yellow or the gold. And then I used the bronze and the green metallic faceted crystal beads from the box. So let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This is the crystals that I used. It's 2 by 3 millimeter, I believe. I used those, and then also I used this one right here. So this is the antique bronze 1 millimeter bead that we got, one full strand. I have plenty of it left, but that's what I used for this. And of course the toggle part that I used, the gold one, for this earring. And I did some pretty basic brick stitch, and that's how the earrings comes out. I added a ear wire on top, and we have a loop on top of the toggle for us to attach our ear wire. So that's what I did. Switch up the color combination just a bit. So for the silver toggle, what I did was I added the red 11 seed beads and then silver 11 seed beads. The picot pattern that is at the end, the decoration at the end, I use the same antique bronze and the green that we got from the box. But look at the look between these two. Sorry, not this one. This one right here. I'll talk about that in a second. But look at these two. Just by switching the colors, it's so much different. And then what I have here is the next one, which is even more simpler than the first one. But in this I used only one line of brick stitch, which is with the red seed beads, 11 seed beads. Then I used the heart crystals that we got, one full strand. I used those, and then some 15 O's in green color. You can switch up the color you have, whichever you have available, but this is the strand that I was talking about that we received in the bag that I used for this earring. This similar pattern, but just a bit even less work than these earrings. So in these earrings I have 3 rows of beads, and in this one I have only 2. So I will start up with this, and then we'll go back to this pattern so that I can show you guys clearly what I did. So I'm going to use the gold because we are going to use the gold heart first. So for this, what we need is, we don't need any of these. I have here some silver, which I don't need for this earrings. For this earrings I need these 4. Some 11 seed beads. I'm using the red silver line 11 toho, which is this right here, round seed beads. And then I'm using some 15 O's from my stash, which is this green color, round as well, toho. So I'm using those 2. And then I'm using the heart crystals from the box, and then the antique bronze beads as well. I have here a size 10 beading needle with some wildfire attached to it. I'm using the green color, or the Verde or color, 0.006 inches. wildfire. This is the color it comes in, so I'm using that. A yard or so is good enough to do 2 earrings or a pair of earrings. So I'm here, I have threaded my needle. So now whenever you thread your needle, all you do is don't thread the needle to the thread to the needle, but thread the needle to the thread. Just flatten this up, hold it in between your fingers, and take the needle and pop the hole that way. That way it will go easier. So I've already did that, and I have here about a yard or so of thread. So take the end of the thread, go through that loop of your toggle clasp, okay, then tie a knot, just an overhand knot, right over left, and then tie that single knot. Okay, so I bring that knot closer to my loop right here. Okay, go ahead and do a surgeon's knot. A surgeon's knot is right over left, go through the loop once and then twice. That means that becomes a surgeon's knot. So do that once, and for extra security purposes, what I do is I go through the loop with the tail end one more time and do one more surgeon's knot to finish it off. I know that makes the thread show twice in your design. I am okay with it. If you're not, just don't loop it around the toggle. What I mean by is, can you see the 2 threads right here crossing? The rest is only 1 thread you can see on the loop. That's what I'm talking about. That will be there. If you're not comfortable, don't loop it around the thing. We also need our thread zapper for this project. I would like to zap my thread at this point of time. I don't want it to be carried around, so I just melt that. I hope I didn't melt it a lot. Okay. So what I am doing is now, I think I melted my other strand is what I believe. So I go through the loop one more time, just with the needle, and tie a knot this way. So I did again. So when you thread zap it, just be careful. Now my thread is attached to that ring, right? I pick up 2 lavender seed beads, right? Let me just move this a little ahead and zoom in a bit more. So 2 lavender seed beads in my needle. Okay, drop it down to the toggle, just like that. Put your needle through the toggle from the bottom to the towards you, just like that. See, the thread is on the back. Okay, now there is 2 seed beads. I go through the second seed bead that we added from the direction from the top to the bottom, only the second bead. When you do that and pull it, this is what you will have. This will sit right side by side. So but still, if you can see, the first bead that we added is in a slanting position. So what I do is I just adjust the position where I want this to be. I go down through the first bead, just like so, and go up the second bead, just like this. Okay, So this is what I have so far. Now I pick up a bead. From now on it's going to be a repetitive process. Pick up a bead, go through the loop from underneath, okay, just like that. See how I'm holding this so that the bead doesn't go on the other side. Okay, now this is what I have so far. So now I go through that bead from the direction my thread is exiting out of. That way when I pull, see that loop that has created on that ring? That's what we want. That will make this bead sit on top of the toggle clasp that we have. Pick up a bead, go underneath, see how I'm holding it so that the bead doesn't escape through that. Okay. Pull that thread. When you are about short distance, go through that bead from the opposite direction, basically. Sorry about that. That's my kid. She's been sick for a couple of days. So here we go. So pick up a bead, go down. I like to hold it this way so that the bead doesn't go on the other side, and then go through that bead from the top. So pick up a bead, go down, and go up through that bead. So this is brick stitch. So I'm doing this brick stitch all over the loop. So first, like this, I will do one row, and this row will consist of 16 seed beads. So the number of seed beads around the loop is totally up to you. It doesn't have to be 16, but I don't want it to cover all the way here. So I like the crescent shape, so I kept it this way. But if you want to cover the entire thing, that's totally fine. Up to the loop from here to here you can do it, but I am doing only 16 beads. So pick up a bead, okay, drop it down to your work. You can do it this way too. So go from the top underneath, right? Go from underneath and then go through that bead this way, opposite direction, so that when you pull that bead is, the loop is around the toggle and your bead sits right on top of that toggle, just like that. It's a pretty easy stitch and it's wonderful in its look, and I would suggest using a branded seed beads like Toho or Mayuki for this purpose, because this is like a little arrangement of beads in a proper fashion. So if you have like uneven beads or smaller and bigger beads, that would make a difference in the look of your project. So I will do 16 beads and I will come up and show you guys how I do the embellishment. So in this earrings we are just doing one row of brick stitch and then we are going to embellish. And the next one we will do 2 rows of brick stitch and then we will do an embellishment. Okay, I finished the first row. Now we will do the embellishment part. We are not doing the second row, but if you can see, there is 2 threads over here. The rest has only 1 thread wrapped around the toggle clasp. 2 threads over here. If you want to mimic the same, you go through the loop one more times here as well. But I didn't do that in that earring, so I'm not going to do that. My thread is exiting out of the last bead on the top, so I'm going to pick up this triangle bead, right? One triangle bead and then one of this 15 seed beads that I have in my needle, drop it down. Okay, so I'm going to use two methods. One is you skip that 15-0 now, go through that triangle and go through the same seed bead that you exit out of, like here. Okay, that way you will catch hold of these two beads and then it will be in place. The second way is to go through the next seed bead, go down through the next seed bead. That way your thread will be like this. Okay, it has that triangle and this 15-0s coming back and going back like this. So I did that at the end of this and at the end here and couple here, because as you guys can see, we are talking about the second row, so it has widened up a little bit, and also the proportion of this beads sitting right next to each other is also quite different because it's a heart shaped crystal. So what I did was, here, see this, my thread is exiting out of the last bead. I added these two, skip the 15-0, go through the triangle and come down through the next 11-0, which is right next to it, right? So that will make it sit this way. Can you see that? So now it sits perfectly. Now what I do is I go up through the next 11-0. So if you want, you can bend your work a little bit to maneuver the needle through it. Should not be difficult. Now pull that up. Now that sits properly. For this, what I do is pick up the triangle, pick up a 15-0, drop it down. Instead of going through the next bead, I go through the same bead down. Okay. Okay, what did I do? I did some mistake. Let's see. Hopefully it can be undone. No, it's not. So if you do a mistake, kindly take off your thread and then take off your needle, then do it. Let me show you guys how I thread my needle. Just flatten the tip of your thread, take your needle and thread the needle through your cord. Okay, this has been used a couple of times, so it's like not that stiff, but if you have a newer one, it will just glow really easily through that. Just need to cut this a little bit off. And then again flatten the tip, take your needle I'm looking through the I will do this off camera, guys. I did thread the needle. Now I didn't skip the 15-0, I just directly went. So skip the 15-0, go through that triangle bead and go through the same bead that you're exiting out from, the 11-0. Just like that, and come back. Okay. So can you see that? There is a short distance between these two. So go through the next one. Next 11 seed bead up, pick up the same one of these triangle beads and one of the 15 drop it down, skip the 15. See, the gauge that you can measure is, if it looks far wide, there is a lot of gap in between these two beads, then you can do the same bead. If there is no gap and it's really tight, then you can come back through the next 11. That's how I did for the sample as well. That's what I'm doing it right now as well. You will gauge it once you do it. If it is really tight, come back down the next 11 and go up through that next 11 as well. But right now I'm going through the same 11 I'm exiting out of. Make sure you don't catch hold of any other instrument in your way. Go up, pick up, I'm skipping the 15 and I'm going through that same triangle bead in the same 11 down towards the loop, and now I'm pulling everything down. So this is how we form. I will do that couple more times and I'll come and tell you guys where, in which bead I go up through one and come back through the next. When I see it very tight, that point of time I'll come and show you guys what I'm talking about. Hi friends, welcome back. So now I am at the last but one bead. As you guys can see, my thread is exiting out of the second bead from my right. So I am going to pick up the heart crystal and a 15, drop it down. So we have been skipping the 15 and then going through the heart crystal through the same 11 seed beads that we are exiting off. But in the start we didn't do that. We went to the first one and then came back to the second one. So we are going to do the same here. As you guys can see, there is no space to add two crystals here. It will be too much out here, right? So what I'm going to do is, my thread is exiting out of the second 11 seed bead. I added all of these. I'm skipping the 15 and going to the first 11 seed bead in my loop. That way this will sit perfectly just like that. That's about it. So now all you need to do is go ahead and catch a thread bridge and then make yourself a loop and go through that loop and then tighten that up, come back, through the next seed bead. If you're not able to, just twist your work, it will be easier to do that. There we go. So now you need to do a couple of half hitch. So there is a lot of thread bridges over here, so catch one of them, make a loop like this, go through the loop with your needle and then tighten that up. There is a knot, and then go up through that crystal. You don't have to reinforce thread anywhere because you have been going through it multiple times, so it's really secure. Once you tie like 3 half hitch knots, you should be good to go. Go through that 15 and then come back through that crystal. Sometimes it'll be hard, but crystals can accommodate a lot. See this? I went through the 15 as well, I guess. go. Catch one more thread bridge underneath, make yourself a loop, and then tighten that loop, and then you can snip off the thread. Use your thread zapper or a scissors. There we go. As you guys can see, it's pretty, the earrings. All you need to do now is add an ear wire to this, and that's about it. The earring is done. Open up the loop in your ear wire. Add this, whichever side you feel good, you can add those. So I'm just going to add it here. Call it a day. Pretty earrings, but just with 2 rows. That's it. 1 row of brick stitch and 1 row of embellishment. That's about it. With the toggle clasp we have designed. So in the next video I'll show you guys how to make these ones, which has 2 rows of brick stitch and a little bit different way of embellishment. I did this in 2 different colors, but the same method, the same number of beads, the same number of rows. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.